What up, Dokkanners? So I saw this tweeted out yesterday by Rick, and this was part of the Dokkan web store update, because on the website they've apparently like done some changes. First of all, I didn't even know there was a website for Dokkan to begin with, but there is dbz-dokkan.bn-ent.net/en for English. There's like an SP version, but there is a Dokkan website. So when they did the whole web store revamp, apparently they also updated some graphics, and this is actually a pretty cool graphic here because this seems to show the history of Dokkan. So this is not a news video. This is simply just a tour down memory lane. I joined the game at the end of the 3rd anniversary. Essentially, I picked up the game and I installed it when the Goku Frieza released at the 3rd anniversary worldwide celebration, that the 3rd year's worldwide. And then I started doing content around the 4th year. And so now we're at the 10th anniversary. So I've basically been doing Dokkan for 6 years. So I want to just go back and take a look at these. I've never actually seen this graphic before. So let's just go ahead and take a look. But yeah, this is the website. So if you guys want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description or in the pinned comment or something. You can access the web store from here. And then this explains the web store, but it shows all this. Okay. A Dragon Ball game where you can enjoy top-notch 20. Does that say 2D animations? Oh, but it said 20. Where you can enjoy top-notch 2D animations. Contact us about data restoration. Oh, there you go. Okay. Follow us on social media. Sure. 10-year history. So surely this is going to be updated once the 10th anniversary is done, which we're not done. We are in the 6th month of the year. So we are now effectively halfway through the 10-year anniversary. So Global Dokkan Celebration coming up is going to be a huge. Okay, so dude, there's a lot to unpack here. Scroll to check. Yeah, I'm trying to scroll. It's not letting me. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it this way. Okay. So let's go ahead and zoom in and let's just start from the top because we've got 10 years of Dokkan starting back in 2015. Comment down below when you started playing the game and let me know like which celebration did you actually jump in. Because I do have, while there are a lot of new players, there are a lot of veteran Dokkanners who know a lot more about this game than I do. So let me know. Okay, so let's just start from here. Dokkan Battle release. Highlights. Official release, Dokkan Awakening added. First World Tournament launched. International version, new languages added, traditional Chinese and French. So I do know that Dokkan Global released 6 months after JP. So ever since then, there was that giant gap between the two versions. And it looks like y'all got the World Tournament Frame 1. I remember we've talked about this before, but I kind of forgot. Oh, it even shows the most used characters. Oh my God. Wait, what? The most used character in year 1 was SR Physical Tracksuit Gohan. That is an SR. Oh, you know what? Yeah, because back in the day, feel free to chime in. Give me some anecdotes. In year 1, there was no GSSR. So look at this. 3 out of the 5 characters are SR units. You've got Gohan, you've got Trunks, you've got Goten. AGL Blue Goku is number 2, and then you've got Super Saiyan 2 Goku as number 5. Interesting. High difficulty event, the Super Strike event Vegeta. That is crazy. That is crazy. Okay, so that's the highlights of the beginning, but it's not like the full. Okay, so this is the 1-year anniversary. Okay, so now we'll take a look at the 1-year anniversary. Over 100 million downloads. Oh, that's 2016. Oh yeah, of course, because 1 full year through. Okay, so what's the thing here? Dokkan Festival and Dokkan Event debuted. Oh, there were no awakenings at the. Wait, no, there was awakenings. Dokkan Awakenings added, and then Dokkan Festival and Dokkan Events debuted. Interesting. Okay, so maybe you just Dokkan Awakened units using like the story events. Okay. Dokkan Festival, Dokkan Awakening. Dokkan Festival featured characters debuted. New skill, Giant Ape Transformation. Giant Form Transformation added. The Greatest Warrior debuted. What is the Greatest Warrior? I think that was the Goku, right? The Goku that eventually goes from like the R unit all the way to the Super Saiyan 3 TUR. Is that what that is? The greatest warrior. I want to look that up. I'm pretty sure it's this. It's funny because the version Z Goku is also called Greatest Warrior. So they kind of like remixed the event and they brought it back calling it that. But I think this is what it was, because this event is no longer available. Okay. Characters that can be Dokkan awakened into the LR debuted. Yes, that's so the first anniversary is where we got the Prime Battle Super Saiyan Goku. I'm assuming that's the first ever LR. Okay. That must have been groundbreaking back in the day, because up for the first year, people were using SR units, for crying out loud, and get, you know, a couple SSRs, and then you get the Dokkan Awakenings and all that. So the TURs are now introduced, and then you get an LR. So the progression of rarity was a pretty substantial jump, I would say. And it's funny because now, you know, an LR, there's an LR everywhere you look. It's a freaking LR bargain sale, right? So this begs the question, you know what? Okay, I know some people may have thought this before. What if we come around full circle and we get our first rarity that extends beyond LR, like a ZR or something? Honestly, 10 years into the game, you got an LR back during year 1. After 10 years, I think a new rarity might actually make sense. I mean, look, the impact on the game and all that stuff is going to be crazy, but I'm speaking poetically here. That'd be kind of crazy. International version, new language added, Korean. Okay. Top 5 most characters used. You've got STR Gogeta. That was the anniversary Dokkan Festival. Then you've got AGL Super Vegito. You've got the SSR version of the TUR. I suppose that's okay. That's interesting. So I guess not everybody could actually Dokkan Awaken the guy. That's interesting. You've got physical Gotenks in here, the SSR, and then you've got the STR SSR God Goku. And high difficulty events. I have been told this many times. This event was one of the toughest events back in the day. The Broly Dokkan event, because I think it's like AoE type stuff. He hits really, really hard. You don't have too many options. Also, the Prime Battle I heard was ridiculously impossible. So yeah, I was not around. Inimitable Fusion and Fiend Possessed, of course. The Dual Dokkan Festival was the Janemba and the Gogeta. I'm surprised Janemba is nowhere to be seen here in terms of the most used characters. I mean, Heroes characters, right? They're popular. Hero characters sell Dokkan more than villains, as we've seen over the years. Okay, next, let's go to year 2. It's gonna be a long video because this is very fascinating for me. What the hell is that? What is this? All right, second anniversary, over 200 million downloads. Leader skills focused on super and extreme classes added. Okay, so up till this point, it was all types or just typings. Now you got the super extreme class. Categories were added. Leader skills focusing on categories added. And then we've got this. I mean, this is crazy. Can I zoom in? Oh, I can. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, this is much better. What is this? This is the April Fool's thing. Dude, this is like RPG stuff. Sci-Fi Battle. One of the many things that I regret about Dokkan is not being around for the cool exclusive stuff. The Arale cross promotion, the One Piece stuff where they had Ichigo in there. And then like all the April Fool stuff, Cybermen, like the Peppy Gal army or whatever. I miss not that I miss, but I just regret not being around for all that. Also, Battlefield in its like original form, which was I think only on the JP version, it was like a tower defense. That was pretty cool. Okay, so top 5 most used characters. So this is for the second anniversary. I'm surprised that the 2-year anniversary units are 3 and 5. I guess back then, again, there was no GSSR, I think. And so whatever you got during the first anniversary was just what you kept. Okay. So number 1 is still year 1 Gogeta. You got AGL Vegito. I mean, sure. Vegito, Gogeta, of course. Super Saiyan 3, that's the second anniversary STR TUR. You've got the physical Super Vegito. He is a super class leader, so that's probably why he's up here. Again, fusions. Fusions run the game. And then you've got the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, new Dokkan events. Boss Rush introduced and the Legend or the Frieza Prime Battle. Okay. I remember, funny story, when I started playing the game, I was halfway through year 3. I was just learning about Prime Battles. It was the most groundbreaking discovery when I was on a Havohai stream and he said that you can boost the super attack of the character by infusing another version or another character of the same name into him. So I was like, wait, how do I get LR Frieza Prime Battle to super attack 20? That's impossible. And then Havohai opened my eyes, and that's how I was able to do it. Okay, so now moving on to, that was 2017. Now we move over to 2018, year 3. So towards the end of this is when I started looking at the game. I didn't do content yet. Okay, over 250 million downloads. Extreme Z Awakening added. Super Battle Road debuted. New skill transformation added. Virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash debuted. Yeah, yes. Okay. Yeah. I think I joined right around the time that this started. Okay. Tournament of Power commencement celebration started. Yes. The first character that I ever summoned for was the LR Tech Goku Frieza. And it's actually kind of fitting. I rainbowed that unit so fast that I actually started to get very annoyed during my summons because I thought that I was not getting anybody else, that I was actually getting shafted. So I almost deleted the character. I didn't because at the time the show was going and I loved the Universe Forever Saga arc and I loved the Goku Frieza, team up thing. So that's the only reason why I didn't just get rid of it. Sentiment. If I had done that, man, I would not have that LR Goku Frieza. Well, actually, no, I would by this point. Okay, so we have another, yeah, this is the April Fool's thing, Dolly Battle. What does this say? I actually want to go in and read all this. Let's scroll all the way down. Wait, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, it's over here. All right, so let's zoom in more. Let's go further down. Hang out with the girls from Dragon Ball. Dating simulation mode will be available in Dokkan Battle. I am the love fighter of Universe 2, Brienne. I will show you a little bit. I will show you a little bit of what? I will show you a little bit about how to play the new Oh. All right. Settle down there. New high difficulty events. So that was the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That happened before my time. Super Battle Road was introduced before my time. Clash started around when I started. If this started during Worldwide, then I jumped in on the first Clash. And I remember the first 3 or 4 clashes were impossible. I still have trauma from the first You know what? Actually, let me pull it up. There was a Zamasu that I fought who was invincible at the time. Let me pull that up. Ultimate Clash. Ultimate Clash. Okay. So if we go to guide, if we look at all clashes, list of virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clashes. If we go to number 1, Global started oh my god, this is when I started. This is when I started. Where's that Zamasu? Okay, no, he's not here. Okay, then maybe it was the next one. Okay, let's go to number 2. No. Maybe it was Goku Black. No, it had to be a Zamasu. Yes, this one. This is the one. This is the one. I had nightmares over this guy because by the time I got to this clash, I had enough characters. I caved pretty quickly. I started spending money. But when I got to this point, I could not get past Zamasu. And I remember because I got so mad, I got so heated. This guy was invincible. This was the most traumatic fight in my early Dokkaning career. That's crazy. That's the one. Oh my god. It's actually kind of bringing back some feelings right now. This is cathartic for me. Okay, top 5 most used characters in year 3. We've got the Int Super Gogeta. We've got the Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the tech one. So this was infamously given a leader skill designated TBA on the global side. If you look up videos out there, you'll see all about it. There's also like Dokkan. I reacted to a Dokkan Iceberg video where they talked about exactly that. So that was crazy. I was not around for that. Tech or Int UI Goku, that was the second character that I summoned for because again, at the time I didn't know anything about the game. I just thought, you know what, the more high profile character, the cooler. So Goku Frieza, pretty high profile. That was going on during the show. UI Goku broke the internet, so I figured he would break the game. Also, one of my favorite OSTs of all time is the UI Goku transformation OST. So yeah, that was the second unit that I summoned for. I did not do very well on those summons. I think I just got 1 copy. Then we've got the year 3 Gogeta LR, but no Vegito in here. And you got physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Interesting. Yeah, also like there was a raid boss. I think it was the raid boss Jiren during the worldwide celebration. That was fun because I got to just keep playing the game. I remember like in my early years of Dokkan, when I would collaborate with other creators or just talk to people about my account, people were in shock to see how high my rank was for someone who had started like a couple of weeks ago. Because I actually played a lot. Okay, let's move on to 2019. This is when I officially started making content on the game. Wait, what's going on here? It's not letting me. I think I screwed around with the zoom too much. Yeah, it's messed up. Hold on 1 second. All right, so here we go. 2019. This is when I started really making content. Okay, over 300 million downloads. Year 4. This is, yeah. Oh, man. Dragon Ball Super Broly. That was my favorite early celebration. It was like around January of 2019. We had the AGL Blue Gogeta. We had the physical Broly. That was so freaking cool. That was before I started making content. Dragon Ball Super Broly movie release celebration started. New skill, active skill with voiced animations added. Oh, that was when I start. Oh yeah, you know what? B-Pan I think was the first voice animation unit, I think. New exchange added. Oh. Okay, wait, you know what? Now that I think about it, exchange is a new mechanic, and it was the free-to-play units that ushered that in. There was no summonable unit that had exchange. Fighting Legend Goku debuted. That was later on in the year, I think. Wallpaper function added. Coin debuted as summon bonus reward? Really? We had the coin system all the way back during year 4? I don't think so. Did we really? Okay. Retro mode. Yes, I remember this. Okay. Infinite Dragon Ball history was introduced during year 4. Extreme Z area was introduced during year 4. The legendary Goku event. This is still my favorite event because it's a long form event. It promotes stacking. I did some pretty cringe and pretty fun edits back in the day for this sort of thing. But yeah, this was fun. I remember one of my early goals with this was to try to beat the event free to play, no item. And I think I rage quit. That was my first rage quit. Top 5 most used characters. Yeah, UI Goku, absolutely. Okay. AGL Gogeta, not surprised. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, yeah, he was the defensive one, so he would probably be better. Transforming Goku and Gogeta still in the top 5. Interesting. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of surprised about some of these things. I don't remember it. That's probably just because I was so fixated on just trying to make content. Like one of my first videos where I sound incredibly high, I am doing a Ultimate Clash run and I'm using teams that I gave nicknames for. This is before we had nicknames like in the game, I think. Okay, so that's year 4. Now we move over to year 5. This is now I'm well established. I'm kind of used to the Dokkan content grind. So here we go, 5th anniversary. This is still arguably, I would say, top 3 celebrations for me in terms of hype. The introduction of the blue fusions was groundbreaking. Also, we got link leveling. So in year 5, skill orbs were added, Extreme Super Battle Road debuted, and link leveling was introduced. That year's April Fools was Dokkan Racing. Okay. This is funny because Mario Kart World Tour came out with the Switch 2. It's been like 2 weeks. I still haven't touched that system. Okay. High difficulty event. We have, okay, more Extreme Z areas, sure. Chain Battle came out during year 5. Aha. And that's around the time that Gresh and I started doing the Chain Battle collaborative videos, which was fun back in the day. And then ultimately he hated it and left because I don't blame him. He was not a fan of it. Extreme Super Battle Road. Top 5 most used characters. I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised these guys are here and not the Blue Fusions. Blue Fusions were so transcendent that I'm genuinely shocked we don't see a Vegito Blue here. That being said, these guys being here makes sense because these guys would have been featured on the 5th anniversary banners because the anniversary celebration banners will have past anniversary units. Also, Gohan being here makes total sense. They did like a stat breakdown of this year and Gohan was the #1 most used character at a certain point. I don't know if it was maybe after his EZA, but he was one of the more popular characters even when he came out. And I remember this. The worldwide celebration with the Gohan and Cell, the Cell games, was so freaking cool because that was the first celebration. Wait, what was it? Was that year 5 or was that year 4? No, I think that was actually year 4. I think that was back up here. And it was so cool seeing the live stream whole like thing that they would do. They had, at the time, I think his name was, oh my God, I forgot his name. Tani? Yeah, okay, I'm getting these names mixed up. There was somebody before Omatsu. There was somebody before Koto, and it was like a skinnier guy. He did this like, it was the Hercule tile breaking thing. And I remember watching that. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like, how far is he going to go? How many rewards are we going to get from this? And I was like, okay, that's pretty neat. I didn't do a video like breaking that stuff down because I was still kind of working my way into the content creator space. But yeah, this guy being popular after a full year makes all the sense in the world. Now we get to year 6. Year 6, I think, is where things started to kind of find their stride for me. And of course, 6th anniversary was the Universe Survival Saga, my favorite. And we had, this is the best April Fool's gag that they did, Dokkan of the Dead, because we got to see a cool FPS mode where you are Saiyaman and you're chucking like energy blasts at zombies. You don't actually do it, but like you see a cutscene of it, which was really cool. I hope at some point we get something like that, some sort of an FPS mode. Now that Legends has this new mechanic with ground battle, I think if Dokkan could do even something as trivial as like a perspective shift, that would actually be pretty neat. What if you could change the orientation of the gameplay where it's, you know, even if it's basic, what if you could do it where you become the PNG that you're controlling? You become the character trying to navigate what orbs you want to pick up or something. I don't know. You know, I'm just spitballing here, but that would be kind of neat. Support memories were added. Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of support memories overall. I mean, now that we have them, we're used to them. I never really was a fan of it being implemented. Revival was introduced. Yes, every anniversary a new mechanic is introduced, and the revival was done via UI and Royal Blue. I remember at the time a lot of people hated Royal Blue because he was not as good. He was not as good. Allowing characters of the same name but different second names to be included on the same team. What? Allowing characters of the same name but of different second name. Oh, right. Okay. So the same name would be Goku and Goku, but the second names would be like whatever their little titles are. Promising Young Fighter or Finally Achieved It Man, you know? Yeah. Peton Battle debuted, another event that a lot of people hate. Speaking of, I have not been able to finish the set that I'm currently working on, which is very irritating. Legendary Goku event GT Edition came out. Yep, that was during Goku Day. Gods of Destruction event that came out during the anniversary. That was such a fun time. Love it. And look at that. Gohan catapults to #1 after 2 years of existence. And you've got UI Goku at #2. I'm not surprised whatsoever that Royal Blue is nowhere to be seen here. He was not the most favored unit, and I can't blame him. You have the worldwide Vegito from the previous year. He was really good when he first came out. And Int UI Goku still sticking around. I don't think I was around when he initially debuted. The banner that I first summoned on for him was, I think, one of those like massive banners where it had like 50 featured characters. So I don't actually remember where this guy debuted. And then, oh, Vegito now works his way in. Oh, because of worldwide. Yeah. These two would link well together and all of that. Okay. Yeah. Sure. All right, that is year 6. Very cool. Now we move on to year 7. This is one of the most hyped celebrations in Dokkan history. 7th anniversary. We got some insane animations. We had really, really cool, like, new challenge levels of power. Highlights: Dragon Ball Story debuted. Basically a story event that was revamped and upgraded mildly. Update: Project Version Z began. Yes, that was auto mode. That was huge because that revolutionized the link leveling scene. Okay. The Greatest Warrior revamped. My Profile debuted. Ultimate Red Zone debuted. Yes, this was a very good addition. Still to this day, the dumbest thing that they could have done was make it a limited amount of attempts per day. If it's the toughest event and you have a limited amount of runs, you can barely gain any momentum and actually like understand the scope of the fight if you just can't do anything about it. I never liked that, but thankfully they're kind of like easing off on that, and some of the events have become unlimited. I hope they just remove that restriction altogether. Entrance animation added, another superficial ad, but still pretty cool. Dragon Ball Super superhero movie collaboration started. Really? That started during 7 year? Huh. Maybe it started towards the end of the year. I don't remember when that started during year 7. Actually, time is starting to like meld together with, because yeah, I mean the world shut down for like 3 years. That actually kind of didn't help. Okay. All right, so we had superhero collaboration stuff happening back then. Carnival featured characters debuted. This was very controversial, and dare I say, I still think they shouldn't have done that. I think they should have just kept it as legendary and Dokkan Festival, but hey, they want money, and yeah, it worked. Carnival characters, people were very upset when that was first introduced. International versions, new languages added. Yes, Spanish and German. Took them 7 years to add Spanish. That's crazy. That is crazy. Significant gap between language updates. Okay. And then we go to, actually, wait, hold on. Did I miss anything? Yeah. Legendary Vegeta event here. We had Dokkan exercise. This is where like the little gag started to get pretty lame. This one had cool music, but this one didn't actually like show anything pretty neat. Then we had Red Zone. Oh, burst mode started too. No, nobody cared about burst mode. All right, so now we get to year 8. I did not like year 8. I was not a fan of year 8. Oh, you know what I'm just realizing? 7th anniversary. During the 7th year, that was when the Cooler and Goku celebration started, but because it's kind of in accordance with JP, so the timing is a little bit shifty here. So I consider this 7 year, but okay, sure. We'll consider this 8 year. 8th anniversary, new skill, standby skill was introduced. Support memory boost function, so easying the support memories. And hey, look at this. Dokkan fishing. A lot of you guys have been asking me, hey Toon, where do you get that wallpaper from? It was from this. Dokkan fishing. You didn't actually like do any fishing, but it was just like the gag. I just like this wallpaper. Domains added. Wait, that's so weird. Yeah, this graphic is a little messed up. Because look at that. They have the previous year's worldwide exclusive event, and then they have the next year's worldwide exclusive event. So yeah, I think they just goofed here. Yeah, they made a mistake. This is not supposed to be here. This should be back on year 7. So let's talk about that actually before we go to year 8. Year 7's worldwide celebration is one of the best Okay, I would think that is one of the most hyped celebrations for me. It's Dragon Ball Super Broly back during 2019, 7th anniversary, and then worldwide from 7th anniversary, because the marketing and the promotion that they did for that was so good, because that was when we got the Cooler wrap. If you have not seen the Cooler wrap, Google it, look it up. I can't play it because I'll get copyright claimed, but it was so freaking cool. Cool, whatever.
You should feel honored. You're the first and soon to be the last to witness my ultimate transformation.
It was really cool. It was really cool. Right, let's move on. So Cooler Goku, that was during year 7. During year 8, it was the Future Saga. They once again brought back the rap. Instead, this time they did the Fusion Potara rap. Potala. That was really cool. So go watch that. I enjoyed this. A lot of people did not enjoy this celebration because of the Vegito. You know,
we Saiyans have no limits.
That one. A lot of people hate that unit. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot to look at the most used characters. Did I look at the most used characters during year 7? I didn't. During year 7, the most used characters, you by a landslide, were the Super Saiyan 4 and the Super Saiyan gods. Of course, Goku's still in there because that's when he got his EZA during the 7th anniversary at the very end. And then you've got the Vegito and you've got the Gogeta making their way back in here, again, because of fusions. And then going to year 8, I was not a fan of year 8 in terms of the anniversary. Spirit Bomb Z, Spirit Bomb GT. I get the gimmick and all. It was fine. I wasn't vibing with it. Mainly because I'm a Vegeta fanboy. This was all about the Spirit Bombs. Also, I'm not fond of the Spirit Bomb that was used at the end of GT. Kind of annoying because in my opinion, it's just, I mean, I don't think it's much of an opinion. It's just a rehash. Like every fight, oh my God, it's impossible to win. Okay, let's use a Spirit Bomb. How does nobody stop me while I'm doing a Spirit Bomb? I just never liked that. So yeah, this is what we got here. And the 7th anniversary units were still number 1 and number 2. Spirit Bomb Z and GT were number 3 and number 4 for obvious reasons. They are still pretty, I mean, I think Spirit Bomb GT has a lot of utility even now. I mean, we're using him a lot during the Million Arena. Plus that 80% support is still, I think, the strongest support in the game. I don't think there's a character that exceeds 80% support at one point. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure no. And look at how this dude is still here. By this point, he got his EZA because I think that was Was that at the same time as the Gohan and Piccolo from Superhero? So that was like at the beginning of year 8, I believe. So yeah, this guy's EZA was revolutionary. So he's still up there. And then yeah, we got the Birth of the Shadow Dragons. This was a challenging series of fights when the Wish is backshot. And you got Divine Wrath, Mortal Will. Every worldwide celebration, there's going to be a unique event that's like catered to that. So Cooler Goku was this. They basically just like went through the 2 movies, and then this one was just going through the entire future arc. And the infamous STR Vegito Blue fight, I think that was stage 8 during this, was at the time the king event, the impossible event that nobody could overcome. I remember that. That was pretty fun. That was fun. That was pretty cool. All right, so that's it for year 8. Now let's move over to year 9. Year 9, we had some pretty dope stuff, and then we started to get hints about the full synchro. Yes. Year 9, Dokkan City. This actually looked kind of cool because it reminded me of one of the first mobile games that I had downloaded and played, which was Simpsons Tapped Out. This looked pretty cool. Supreme Magnificent Battle debuted. The Blue Zone. Look at this. It's blue. It's shiny. It's the freaking Blue Zone. It's the exact same thing as the Red Zone. Fight me. All right. I know some of y'all like to call it Supreme Magnificent Battle. You should know by now, Dokkan is stupid with names. The names are dumb. Okay. You don't need to call it Supreme Magnificent Battle. Just call it Blue Zone. New skill, attack attraction. So this is the taunt, the what do we call it? Target focus effect, the taunt, whatever. So that was cool. Super easy A's. This is a temporary measure. Just for those of you who may have forgotten, I sometimes have to remind myself. Super Extreme Z Awakenings are a temporary measure to an ongoing problem. That problem is that EZAs that get their EZAs age quickly, as with the, you know, the natural progression of the meta. The Super EZA mechanic is a temporary fix that makes the older EZAs suddenly relevant again. But, you know, over time, you're going to have the same problem again. The Super EZAs will eventually age out, and you'll have to Super Duper EZA. But hopefully, assuming this game goes on for many more years to come, they will come up with something that allows these characters to steadily and progressively get stronger as the meta evolves. This only works for Dokkan festivals and LRs for right now. Unifications of the operation schedules for JP and Global. The process of this coming to fruition was absolutely irritating because there was a contingent of global players who didn't like this because they liked the 6-month gap, being able to see what's coming up, being able to anticipate and get ready for it. Some people didn't like the execution in terms of mixing and matching schedules. There were a lot of logical points in the timeline where Global's celebrations could have sped up, but they did the dumbest route possible and they did all sorts of weird things. At certain points, Global got something new that JP didn't. And then when JP got the thing that Global had got before them, Global, you would think, would gain some ground, but they just don't do anything. And yeah, there was just like all sorts of weird, stupid decisions that were made on the back end. Ultimately, after a year, we finally achieved full synchro. Dragon Ball Daima anime release celebration started. That started during the 9th anniversary? Really? I mean, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, it started during the 9th anniversary because it was announced that it was coming up. Yeah. Okay. And if we take a look at the high difficulty events, we had intensifying fights. Wait, where's Collection of Epic Battles? They never showed that, did they? Collection of Epic Battles is lost in time. They're showing all of these like interesting events and whatnot. Collection of Epic Battles is not here. You know what that tells me? That tells me they absolutely regret making that event. I don't think they're gonna make another one. Okay, intensifying fights, Blue Zone, Cell Max, one of the most difficult fights in the history of Dokkan. I can't speak to how this is compared to year 1, because people tell me that year 1's like Prime Battle, Super Strike stuff was impossible. But Cell Max was impossible. Cell Max was so impossible that Nanogenics appeared on a live stream asking me how I did on this event. That should tell you something. Nano showed up. What's up, Nano? What's up, bud? The Devil Awakens. This is 10th anniversary. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's 10th anniversary stuff. Top 5 most used character rankings. UI and Royal Blue got their EZAs during the 9th anniversary. There's a 3-year buffer now between the anniversary units release and then their eventual EZAs. So for year 9, the year 6 units got their EZAs. So these guys are number 1 and number 2. Still to this day, I think that this guy is a fantastic EZA. I know a lot of people don't feel the same. But because of the fact that you can get hit 5 times and then have a revive condition ready to go no matter what, I think that's still really good. And I still use him quite a bit. Royal Blue got the powerful comeback that he deserved. And then we got Beast Gohan in here. Yeah, Beast Gohan is very good. It's crazy how some people think Beast Gohan sucks now. I understand that he has dropped in value, but the fall off on this guy when the meta evolved into the 10th anniversary was crazy. People were saying that he's trash, he's a waste of money, when just like half a year before, everyone was like, Beast Gohan is a must-have. Also, during the anniversary, this is when we had the unprecedented new summon format where we didn't get the free rainbow tickets for just extra multis, but we could accumulate 50 of them to do a 77 special summon where we got, was it 3 featured SSRs on a banner? And so a lot of people ended up getting Beast Gohan off of that. You got Gogeta on number 4. You got the blue dudes at number 5. They got their EZAs around this time too. Oh yeah, they're also really good. Yeah. Okay. And now we get to the 10th anniversary and they don't show anything here. Okay, because it's a year in review. So I guess that's why they don't actually want to show it yet, because they still have more things to cover. But in the 10th anniversary, that's oh wait, no. This was year 9. Yeah. This was year 9. My bad. I had this mixed up. Broly and Gohan and the Go-Go Trunks and all that, that was from year 9. This was also this was a fun celebration. This was really good. They also did a rap or something. You know what? They did not do a rap. They did like a screamo song or something for Broly. But that was actually a fun celebration too. So yeah, Dokkan has evolved over the years. My feelings towards the game has overall become more and more positive over the years. I have loved the evolution of not only the game, but the channel over the years. It has been very difficult to, you know, do the full grind at certain points because of the day job and whatnot, but it has been incredibly fun still trying to find the balance between this and my my other responsibilities. And dude, I can't wait to see what they've got coming up. Global Dokkan Celebration, them doing this, yeah, Global Dokkan Celebration is gonna be massive, because whatever it is, they got to show it off here and it's got to be something memorable. So you know what, we come back full circle with this tweet right here, and truth, I agree. GDC will be a smash hit. Oh, 100%. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm a little worried. Not gonna lie. There have been some missteps over the last couple months of the 10th anniversary, but I think we are gonna be looking at the best celebration in the history of the game. We're gonna get everything. We're gonna get some sort of a musical promotion. We're gonna have massive, like, I don't know, things leading up to it. We're just under a month away, so I think maybe like in a week we could probably start seeing some stuff as we get closer and closer. So yeah, I've got my hopes pretty high up there. Y'all probably shouldn't, to be honest, but I do. I think it's gonna be great. This was fun. This was a fun look back at 10 years of Dokkan history. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comments, especially for these like first 3 to 4 years. Because like the first 2 years that I started playing the game were absolutely a blur. I don't know like everything that happened in there. Let me know what you guys were doing back then during all this. Give me all the highlights. Who were the big content creators you were watching? What were some like crazy things that happened? Like, you know, a couple years ago, I went crazy and I went on this rant about Super Vegeta's like OST problems. Tell me, were there any moments like that from other creators back in the day? I want to hear from all of you guys. And all the new players who joined in during year 7, year 8, year 9, let me hear from you guys as well. Who did you start watching? What are some of the favorite moments from your first years of the game? What was your perception of the game like before you actually understood everything in the game? Was it about the animations? Was it the music? You know, all that stuff. Talk to me. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Leave in the comments your thoughts on the years that have been in Dokkan. Give me all the highlights. Give me all the lowlights. Give me some cool memories, some cherished memories, some support memories. Anything and everything you want to talk about, feel free to share in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you'll let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.